On the arm length with Campbell, I want to get your take on this because we've gone back and forth on this show really not just since the beginning of draft season, but since sort of towards the end of last season when we were trying to figure out what the Patriots need, where they were going to land, etc. There was a presumption that he may come in short. He obviously comes in sub 33 at the combine, a little bit longer. And like you said, it's become this complete saga. As a draft Nick and as someone who is all over this type of stuff, how much stock do you put in the arm length? Does it matter? Does it matter as much? Does it matter a little bit more than what we've seen? And ultimately, do you think Will Campbell can play tackle at the next level? Does he deserve a shot at it? Is he a guard? What's your take on the whole situation?
I do put a good amount of stock into arm length. I think
Okay.
for me, anytime I go through any measurements, I think what matters most to me is arm length for a edge and for a tackle, right?
Sure.
Those are the two that I typically prioritize in my evaluation. It makes his evaluation tricky. It's a tricky question, right? It reminds me a little bit. You'll remember Peter Skoronski coming out of
Hmm.
Northwestern just 2 years ago. Now, mind you, he was even shorter than Will Campbell, but similar in the sense where it's like, well, he's got these 4 great years of tape at left
Right.
tackle. He didn't play a single game at guard at Northwestern. Peter, you gotta let him play tackle. He's so good at tackle. Nobody thought he was a tackle in the NFL. Titans
Hmm.
took him at 11. They didn't even consider it. They put him at guard right away. And again, he was even shorter than Will Campbell. There are a couple tackles playing in the NFL with Will Campbell's arm length. Braden
Soon to be
Smith
Will
from the
Guard.
Colts. Yeah,
Sorry.
Braden Smith from the Colts is one of them, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly. At least playing it at a high level. You know, I tend, if you put me on the spot, I probably go guard.
Okay.
I think this maybe the smartest thing they could do if it is New England. And I talked to a guy who said this yesterday about him. I talked to a scout who said we live by the old mantra, start at fail at tackle, move to guard,
Mhm.
right? So I think if you're the Patriots and you go him first of all, I don't you don't take him at 4 if you think he's a guard, right?
Right.
Like you could be wrong and end up playing him at guard, but you don't take him if you think he's a guard at 4.
100%.
So if you take him at 4, you gotta let him try at tackle, and you kind of feel good about the fallback possibility that, hey, if all else fails, I'm kicking him inside, and I've probably got a high level starter at guard.
Yeah, the Will Campbell evaluation feels like it's kind of gone off the rails because I agree with you. Everything he's done and the fact that, outside of the wingspan and the arm length, which aren't great, he checks every other box. So I think it is, yes, start him at tackle, but he moves to guard.